Hey, it is Yuri Tufano, the Wolf of Amazon. Welcome to this new video. In this video, we are going to see together why your old friends will keep you poor. No need to be scared, I'm telling you now. It's not like you'll start worrying and thinking, here's another person telling me I have to be alone in the desert with camels or on a mountain to succeed. That's extreme, and it's what's kind of come across as a message, especially in Italian. Also because if you watch videos about personal improvement, how to achieve results, how to isolate yourself, how to create a new environment, how to associate with better people, they don't completely exclude all your old acquaintances.
Hey, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the little bell so you don't miss out on all the new videos coming out.
A distinction needs to be made. This is crucial. Why make a distinction? Because especially if you're on a trajectory, so on a path of improvement, you're trying to improve your situation. And if you're watching one of these videos, one of my videos, you're almost certainly in a condition where you're still seeking improvement and looking for ways to enhance your current state. You want something more from life. And it's exactly the opposite of what we were taught since we were little. Boyfriend, study, maybe marry the same girlfriend you've always had. It doesn't do any harm. Have children, keep working, retire, raise grandchildren, play with the grandchildren, and then you die, okay? This is the daily grind that we've been programmed for. If you're here, then you want something a little different, which is not a bad thing. Not so much in creating a family, which I myself have a wife and 2 children, so it's perfectly normal from a personal satisfaction point of view. So you don't necessarily have to spend 40 years of your life in the same company making someone else rich. Besides, that's something I did for 15 years, unfortunately or fortunately, because it was still part of the journey that allowed me to start accumulating something that then gave me the opportunity to create my own business, the business of selling booklets. On Amazon, the activity that I teach with WePublishing, my company that guides you hand in hand in creating your business of selling booklets on Amazon.
And if you have not done it yet, click immediately on the first link you find down below in the description of this video to gain access to over 8 hours of free course on self-publishing and enhance your knowledge in this field.
See you inside the course. Well, that being said, staying connected with your old friends will keep you financially struggling, or at least spending the majority of your time with them will keep you financially struggling and hinder your progress towards achieving financial success. If you're climbing, and trust me, I've been there, if you're trying to climb, you're climbing a business, you need to understand, and you'll find yourself in this situation and you'll see that it'll be like that. You'll find yourself having to start thinking about that activity, that business for most of your time. It's not like going to work anymore. When you go to work as an employee, you start at 8, finish at 5, for instance. When I worked as a train conductor, I would start at 6 p.m. and finish at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Starts at 6 p.m., ends at 2 a.m. Before, I'd mind my own business, no worries, and after, I'd mind my own, no worries. At 2 in the morning, I used to go to bed until I started making booklets, in which I had to start dedicating time before and after, and sometimes even in between when I had breaks from my business creation. Well, having stated that, if you are beginning to establish your own business, then in order to generate your second source of income, initially it will undoubtedly be a second income, but subsequently it could, why not, like it occurred to other students. Eugenio is one of my students who moved to the Canary Islands today because he was making money selling booklets. Alessandro, who lives in California, and me, who with the sale of booklets moved myself and my family to the United Arab Emirates. All right, but if you're just starting out, start taking care of yourself because, you know, guys, if you don't dedicate time to this other activity, it's unlikely you'll get any results, especially if you're doing it on your own. So the classic way to sell booklets on Amazon, so you have to learn from a course. You have to have the book written, you have to create the cover, do the brief, then give the instructions to the graphic designer to create the cover, a whole series of factors and information market research if you do it on your own that you have to do. But if you guys are starting to do this thing here, you won't have the time, or better yet, if you do have it, you'll see that you won't be able to do this activity. You won't have time to hang out with friends. I used to do that too when I was much younger. Today I'm 40 years old, but when I was not 20, 25, 24 or 26, I used to go to the square to waste time with friends. Or as soon as I finished work with the night shift at 11 p.m, I would go dancing. So my time was mostly dedicated to leisure before and after work. And you'll say, but you have to enjoy life. Sure guys, if you want more, you gotta put in some extra effort. So that is the reason. Do not get fixed on a preconceived idea. You have to cut ties with everyone. You do not have to cut ties with everyone. This is a lie. This is something they told you for simplicity's sake. You've learned to cut ties with everyone. You don't have to cut ties with everyone. Keep up with people. Make sure to dedicate enough time to old friends, as they're the ones who've been there since forever. Never lose touch with old friends known since we were 5 or 6 years old. We went to elementary school together, middle school together, high school together, and even some of us went to university together. And some were caught, maybe pretending to be blacksmiths. I wouldn't lose touch with people, but I wouldn't spend 4 hours a day hanging out in the square, wasting time and goofing off. This is what you guys need to understand. This is of fundamental importance because if you have to achieve a goal, I can give you the example of a dear friend of mine who, when we were kids, played in Series C2, so he was starting to build a career in the world of football, and we were friends, but it's not like he disowned us because he had bigger goals than ours. He simply dedicated more time to his activity that he wanted to pursue, which was that of a potential soccer player. This is what I mean. This is what you need to understand. You got to dedicate most of your time to those that are your goals. Well, how did my friend who played soccer do it? He didn't spend 8 hours with us in the afternoon. He was going to train, but he also hung out with us. Less, but he was with us. This means when they say your old friends will keep you poor. If you keep doing the same things you've always done, like spending 3 hours at the bar after work, coming home, Netflix, maybe having dinner with your girlfriend, family, wife, going out to the bar again, your old friends will keep you broke. Go for half an hour, maybe an hour, say hello, relax, then it's back to work. If you have concrete and serious goals and want to achieve results, this essentially implies the act of setting aside, moving away, or slightly omitting certain elements or aspects of the subject matter at hand. Pass me this term aside to your old friends. Don't sacrifice your whole life, so go to the top of the mountain. Stop talking to anyone because that sucks. No, it's not like that, but dedicate most of your time to the activity, whether it's a sport. Do you want to become champions in bocce? Play more bocce than hang out with friends. If usual friends bring you down completely because they'll ask, what are you doing playing bocce? Or what are you doing making booklets? But stay here, we're having fun. And you'll say, well, I'll stay here then. If you're not strong enough to say no, I don't have a goal like my friend who played soccer. I have to go train because it's easier to understand for a second activity, because that's what he's talking about. Because if you start from scratch, or you're super equipped, like someone who maybe was a manager before and then gets a super mega severance package and stops working, then dedicates the severance package to create a business. But not all guys have this opportunity. When I left the railroad, I received a small amount of money. I didn't have the financial means to dedicate 1 or 2 years to attempting to establish a business. Anyway, I had a reputation in the 5 digits, you know? What does 5 digits mean? 100, 200, 300,000? Very sorry, 6 figures is much lower. I didn't have a settlement with 6 figures like many of you probably won't have either. So you necessarily have to get busy in the meantime if you have another activity. And if you let yourselves be dragged down by your old acquaintances, who are not necessarily bad acquaintances, okay, they're not entrepreneurs, but it's also good sometimes, guys, to go out with old friends, have a laugh, joke around, have a laugh, relieve some pressure, but then you get back to producing. Certainly, it is also true that you remain the average of the 5 individuals you spend the most time with on a regular basis. You will realize then afterwards that when you start climbing, you experience personal growth because you also grow mentally. As a result, you will naturally seek the presence and company of diverse individuals, not necessarily superior or inferior. You may choose to treat them with kindness or indifference, recognizing that these individuals may not be the best or most significant ones you will encounter in the future, all right? I'll tell you from experience, they're not better, but they're different connections, in some ways more useful, not because you have to use them, but because they adapt much better to your new lifestyle, your new mentality, your new way of doing things. Because if you're starting to generate 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 euros per month selling a product and it's totally doable, don't be scared by the numbers because it's totally doable. Obviously, you'll want to meet people with whom you can exchange feedback and opinions. How can I, with all the good intentions I have, find myself and get feedback from my longtime friends? No, look, I'm selling this product, currently at 10,000, stuck, want to raise it to 15,000. I tried these techniques, these. They would look at me, rightly so, dumbfounded, saying, what is he talking about? 10,000, how do you expect to reach 15,000? Well, that's when you'll go looking for some people you can share these interests with. If you guys are really into like CrossFit, then naturally you'll start looking for more people who do CrossFit to hang out with because you share a passion, you share an interest, and that's what happens. In essence, this is what actually occurs. You will proceed to share your interests, and naturally, you will actively seek out individuals who share these interests with you, or at the very least, have a similar general interest in creating something, starting a business, or shaping your own reality in some way. That's why entrepreneurs tend to find themselves among each other, because they understand each other. Why be an entrepreneur? Having something of your own is not security. So we kind of share this warrior spirit where we attempt to sell products and provide for ourselves. That being said, guys, you don't have to necessarily tell someone to go fuck themselves, kick your old friends out of your lives, because that's not what you should do. You all must allocate the right time to each situation. To grow, you can't spend 10 hours a day with your old friends like before. This is the outcome you can expect in your lives if you choose this course of action. That's the conclusion of Yuri's message. Thank you to everyone, and if you're interested in elevating your booklet business on Amazon, entrusting the entire business creation process to us, we'll see you inside WePublishing. Farewell until the next video, and goodbye from Yuri Tufano.